Welcome back to part 2. I'm going to share my screen with you one more time. Okay, so in this section, we're going to talk about how we imagine farms. And what I would like you to do, actually, as we go through the rest of this talk and class, is take a piece of paper, divide it in two with a line down the middle. And on one side, in the first column, have a heading that says things worth remembering. In the second column, I'd like you to put down the heading, things I didn't quite understand. And what I would like you to do as we go through this class today is really kind of pay attention to things that you find really grab your attention, things that you think are worth remembering for the rest of the course, and put them in that first column. And then if there is some concepts you didn't quite get or some history was skipped over a little bit fast, put that in the other column. And at the end of the class, I will ask you to submit 3 items for each of those. So keep that sheet of paper around and note those things down. Now, let's look at some of the ways that you guys had said food and farming featured in your lives. I was really impressed with a lot of your answers. You'd really kind of thought deeply about your own environment and where food and agriculture linked to that. One of the things that you talked about a lot was everyday items in your lives, especially specifically food items. You mentioned breakfast, you mentioned fruits, vegetables that obviously are all connected to food and farming. Some of you also mentioned wood. Somebody had mentioned, we need wood for floors, for tables, for chairs in our lives, which of course wood comes from trees that are usually farmed. You might also think of rubber. Rubber is actually comes from trees, from latex trees that we encounter every day as well. I think a couple of our fashion merchandising majors had also made the keen observation that a lot of the clothes or good quality clothes come from natural fibers, such as from cotton, from wool. You can even make really good materials from bamboo and flax. And if you think about things like cotton, of course, has a long history that is entangled with slavery in the United States, that provides us a look into the past as well, especially in the South, and that we will talk about later in the course. Somebody also mentioned soul food, which is a really great thing to mention. Of course, soul food is associated with the African-American identity in the United States. So when we're thinking about soul food, it brings up all sorts of really important topics like the history of food and specific people, the role that memory serves when it's connected to food and the senses, identity, group identity, and general culture as well. Somebody had mentioned that they grew up eating fast food in their childhood, and this has made it difficult for you to be able to not eat it now, right? Even if you value health and you want to be healthy, it's difficult because you grew up with it. And these kind of ideas really link to important notions around how we form habits, how we form taste, what our different preferences and tastes say about us in society, and how that links to our family. So very important topics that we will have room to explore. Some of you had also mentioned that you like to shop and look for organic or local produce, especially at farmers markets. And this opens up all sorts of important topics around what we value and what ethics we have when it comes to food and agriculture. Do we value health? Do we value local small farms? Do we value specifically organic produce because of environmental concerns? Again, food offers us this incredible window, and a lot of you have identified food as an entryway to think about some of these larger topics. One, for example, is how food has a very social role. Somebody said, I was kind of surprised, and yes, that totally makes sense, that food brings us together, brings family, friends together. So it does has this social function that is very important to us every single day. So again, very impressed with your answers, and I think you keep all of these ideas in mind as we go through the course, because it allows us to look at the world in myriad ways if we look at food and agriculture. So So let's go further in terms of looking at how you guys imagine different farms. So your activity number 2A in Canvas, here's what I'd like you to do. Now I've organized the 21 class drawings that were submitted into a PowerPoint presentation that is attached to this activity on Canvas. So I want you to look, and I've numbered them. They're not attached to your names because I wasn't sure if you'd want to necessarily show off your particular drawing. So I want you to look at all of the 21 drawings, and on a discussion on Canvas, I'd like you to do a few things. Number one, I'd like you to say one thing that you found interesting about one or two or several, all of the drawings. And this could be something that all the drawings have in common, maybe something that is missing from all the drawings, perhaps something that stands out as different in one or a couple of the drawings. So say one thing that you really found interesting. And use the assigned numbers of the drawings to refer to specific drawings so that people can also look at the PowerPoint and see what you're talking about. Second thing I would like you to do is pick one adjective, just one adjective that in your opinion best describes the relationship that you see these drawings depicting between the farmers, the animals and the crops, and the environment. What is the one thing that really comes to mind when you look at this body of drawings altogether? And the third thing I would like you to do is comment on just one peer response that differs to yours a little bit, but with which you agree. So again, pause this video so you have these instructions up on the screen, go away and complete this task, and then come back. Welcome back. So another activity I would like you to do, and these are back-to-back, but we will come back to these, and these will come around full circle today and in future weeks. So activity 2B, that is called What is in Your Pantry? What I would like you to do is look into your refrigerator, your freezer, your food pantry, and if you don't have any of those, go to a local store. And I want you to find one food item that has a packaging whose label depicts a farm or that depicts nature in some way. And what I'd like you to do is take a picture of that, and I would like you to upload to the discussion thread one photo of the product where you can clearly see the label and we can clearly see what kind of imagery it uses for farm or nature. And then I'd like you to take a clear close-up shot to make sure that we can read it of the ingredients label at the back of that product. So upload those two things, pause this video, find a product, complete the task, and come back to this video. Great, thank you. That completes that second segment. I'll see you in the next instructional video. That will be the third segment under Canvas.